Okay, so I've got a few problems that nobody seems to be addressing in the liberal media, the conservative media. Even Fox News isn't talking about this, which is kind of shocking to me. Um, I'll go ahead and say the main reason that I'm voting for McCain is for the appointment of the Supreme Court justices, to get that out of the way, so you know where I stand. It's really not their policies. I'm not a big McCain fan, and I'm not a big Obama fan for a few reasons. But this is the main problem that I see with Obama's policy concerning um, giving tax credits to companies that hire new employees. I know a lot of people think it sounds good, but let's think of the ramifications of this one issue in retrospect to all of his other policies. The first problem would be companies already look for reasons to cut their higher paid workforce. Usually it's in the 40 to 60-year-old bracket. The closer you get to retirement, obviously, the more you're making, and the more of a liability you are to a company. No matter how much quality is in your work, you're still a cost liability. So companies are already looking for reasons to cut those people out. If you offer a tax credit to hiring new employees, and notice he uses the term hire new employees, not create new jobs. Companies aren't going to go out and expand themselves to create new jobs for nothing. They're going to get the tax credit to just hire the employees. So whether it's by forced retirement, whether it's by laying off, whether it's by concocting some reasons to fire people, which we know that companies do on a daily basis, despite how much we would hate to hear it, they'll push out their older workforce and have a large influx of younger workforce at a third or less of the wages. And the problem with this is you're going to take the younger unemployment bracket. It's only some of them, because a lot of what's currently in the unemployment market, they're really not looking for jobs. I'd probably say about 20% of them are actually actively looking for jobs. The rest of them are just laying around, seeing what they can get. And of course, under Obama, we know they're gonna get all they can. But you're gonna get some younger people out of the unemployment, so you're gonna lower that unemployment number a little bit. But the problem is you're going to flood it back in with 40 to 60-year-old employees who are used to one certain wage of pay, and now they're not going to be able to go find new jobs because all the good jobs are being filled with younger people that can take it at a extremely lower cost to the company. And so you're going to have an unemployment market of people that can't get jobs. And if you think the housing crisis now is a problem, wait till that happens. It'll be a humongous crash to the housing problem that we currently have. Also, what will happen is that 40 to 60-year-old range is what makes up the backbone of our economy, and if you take their jobs away, granted this is a extreme, but we all know that extremes can happen. If you take the 40 to 60-year-old income out of the country, the economy will crumble. The economy as we know it will crumble. Now, maybe this is what Obama wants. Maybe this is what the liberals want. They want to break the backbone of America so they can bring in their socialist Marxist ideas. I don't know. I just honestly don't know. But regardless, you're going to break the economy. You're going to break the housing market. Fannie and Freddie Mac will be a fleeting idea in the past. This is going to be way worse. To recap, so far, you're going to have older employees lose their job for younger employees at a lower cost. Older employees lose their house, and the economy is going to start to falter because the older people can't get new jobs currently have. Now, if you thought that was the only problem, that's not. You may think, well, it doesn't really bother me if somebody older than me or somebody my age loses their job because it's not me. What affects me? I want to know what affects me. Well, the problem that affects you is that younger workforce coming in, generally you're going to wait 90 days, maybe 6 months, depending on the company, to be eligible for health insurance. However, under Barack Obama's plan, you can get health insurance right away. So the company, of course, they don't want to pay the health insurance. It's again another cost liability to them. So I don't know if they could get away with forcing you to take Barack Obama's plan, or if they can increase your percentage of what you pay, but it would be more incentive for the newer employee to go straight into the government plan, which I can assure you they are not planning on that scenario. And what it'll do is it'll flood that insurance market, and who's going to have to make up for it? Not the 250,000 and above. They're going to have to lower that, and they're going to start taxing probably 100,000 and above, or less. So what this means to us is, oh well, Barack Obama says he's going to cut our taxes. Well, first of all, he's going to let the Bush tax cuts expire, so that's going to jump your taxes up. And then when the market starts getting flooded in 2 to 3 years of this unemployment turnover, so to speak, you're gonna somebody's gonna have to foot the bill. Somebody. So you're either gonna lose education money, you're gonna lose all these extravagant plans that Obama wants. Somebody's gonna have to take the hurt. It's just at this point a roll of the dice who it's gonna be, and it most likely is going to be you or me or any other middle class American. Joe the Plumber, James the Landscaper, Josh the Constructionist. Somebody's gonna take the cost. Government's not gonna foot the bill. Big corporations aren't going to foot the bill. If they get stuck with the bill, they're just going to raise the cost of their goods, and it's going to be back on the middle class. So we really have to think these things through. So to recap, just one of Barack Obama's issues, $3,000 to hire new employees will cause more mature workforce to lose their job. They won't be able to get jobs because of their cost of living. They're not going to be able to afford their houses. They're not going to be able to afford their extravagant lifestyles that they currently pay. The economy's going to break. The younger people coming in are going to opt for the new health insurance through Barack Obama's plan, through the government. Taxpayers are going to have to pay more. And then last but not least, the government Barack Obama's wanting to force charitable contributions through taxation means. It's a purely socialist idea. He does that. What's the alternative? Why does anybody have the incentive to be charitable anymore if the government's just going to take it from us? So all your charitable organizations are going to suffer for this, and all those middle class people that were making money aren't going to be as charitable. So you're going to have a big crisis on your hands. Now the purpose of this wasn't to be gloom and doom, but just wanted people to think that old adage when your principals or your teachers or your parents would say, make sure you think about the consequences. My thought to the voters out there and to Barack Obama and the Democrat leaders that are thinking up these ideals, go out in public, explain this scenario, explain the alternatives you have to this scenario, and you could possibly solidify yourself some more voters, or maybe you could shy them away. Maybe that's why you're afraid to really think these things through. And again, I'm not trying to cause fear and incite fear in the public, but one of the main reasons I'm voting for McCain is because he doesn't have lackluster policies. Sure, the past 8 years were bad. We can always look at presidencies and find the bad in them, but a lot of good has come out of them too. And totally restructuring the government is not the answer. It's just not the answer. So again, you don't have to look into his radical connections. You don't have to look into his friendships. You don't have to look into who's spending what money where and who's for guns and who's for this and who's for that. Look at the economy issues. Look at this, just this flash in the pan idea of $3,000 to hire new jobs, and look at the trickle down effect that it causes in a negative fashion. The extreme, people losing their jobs, the economy falls apart, the housing crisis fails, and it's just one more reason to move to socialism, to move to Karl Marxist ideas. And socialism is nothing but a stepping stone to communism. And I would hate to see my America do that, and I know you guys would too. So thanks for listening, and make sure you email this link around so everybody has a chance to hear it, and to start asking the tougher questions like Joe the Plumber and myself. So thanks, and have a good day.